Tim is actually pretty shy in terms of being in the movie business. And we had a few conversations with him prior to this tonight's event. But it turns out that he could be very talkative. So we'll see if we can get that out of him tonight. Tim has this super long resume. So we're not going to spend the time just to read them out loud. But we're probably going to rely on the big screen, and then we're just going to go over them together. And we're kind of going to do it in 3 segments. We're going to start with the most popular film that he's known for. And then we're going to talk about a lot of things that people might not know so much about him. And we only found out about it recently. There are lots of coincidences, a lot of surprise. So we're hoping that it's going to be a fun night. So what we're seeing here right now is, I think, the night banquet. And this is with Feng Xiaogang.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe, Lydia, we can go back to the first slide.
So I cannot see him.
Yes, and this is A Better Tomorrow. And this is your first break into the movie industry.
Yeah, when I am a student.
And your student where and doing what?
My student is in Polytechnics for photograph. At the same time, I am making this movie.
Mm-hmm. And who asked you to make this movie?
Xu Ke.
Cui Ha. Okay, so Xu Ke. And after this movie, later on, we're going to see the previous one. Okay. So this is the movie that has been hugely successful, not just in Hong Kong, but pretty much all the Chinese world and in the West. And we know that after that, you take on the role for artistic director and costume design for An Li.
Yeah.
How did that film come to you?
I know Annie for many years ago, and he making each dream man and woman. At that time, he wanted me to do the movie, and at that time, I remember he had some kind of delays, but at the time when you shoot the movie, I have a commitment with other movie, so at that time I didn't have him, and I have my assistant to go to do that movie. And afterwards, I had spent 7 years in Taiwan to making theater works. Actually, I spent 7 years to researching all different kind of costume design in Taiwan. And after that, I feel really tired. And I feel something like a really difficult future. And then at that time, I just finished my work, and I have a long time no holiday. The first day of my holiday, Annie called me. Can you come tomorrow? I said, what? Do you do art direction? I said, yes. I said, come. So there are 3 to 4 people like Guai Yalei, Xu Li Gong. I don't know if you know Xu Li Gong. And all these people call me, and the whole day is telephone. And then, okay, I go.
And just quickly mention that the few theater production that you work with, that includes Cloudgate. Many of the Bay Area friends are very familiar with Cloudgate, and also Wu Xingguo production. Yes. And then so we went to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and then I was very surprised when I was doing the research that you also did Cai Mingliang's films.
Yes.
What Time Is It There? I think it's really one of his best films, and it has such a huge difference in terms of budget. Because I know Crouching Tiger is 27 million, which has a gross income of 200. I wouldn't ask how much Cai Mingliang's budget is, but how do you work on these kind of broad spectrum when you have such a small budget and huge budget?
I remember I don't have any difference, but when I work with Cai Mingliang, we go together to go to night market to looking for some costume under 100. And we fight for the whole night for 60. Because they're 19. And when I want to buy it, we fight for 50. And then, okay, can we buy it now? And then we take it freezing for several seconds. And Tammy said, no, we don't spend this money. And I feel crazy. Okay, tomorrow we have to fitting, but we don't have costume. And we go back to the office. The office is really strange. It's in the market. Underneath is a bed, all bed sheet and everything. The shop. So that we had to pass through that kind of shop and go to the second floor with water dropping off. And go to his office. And then all the actual actors is there. And we start to ask them to pick their costume out. They have to bring their costume to us. And then we start to talk about their costume. Why don't you buy more costume? We start from there, so you know how to save your money.
And just from an artistic production standpoint, I would highly recommend everybody to look for this film. It's not a widely known film, for what time is it there, but it's really one of the defining film, I feel, for Tim Yip himself. It has this super haunting effect, and it's completely different from the way how you approach Crouching Tiger or many other your movies. And this brings me to another question that sometimes I think everybody in arts kind of struggle with that films or even theater is usually measured by box office or award. Okay, you either get award or you get box office success. And sometimes it could be a bad film with good artistic direction, or it could be vice versa, a good artistic direction but sucked in a very bad film. So it's
there's always.
How many of those you encountered?
I can count.
So with the many projects you have done, big, small, award-winning or not, how do you measure success for you as an artistic director?
I think growing is a success, for me, because I believe in what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. And every time I will make the most opportunity to testing something new. So every time is a gift for me, when I work, because I will really take serious about the time and tries to work. So every time I will find something new. So even though they're success or not, for myself, it's not the first priority. But of course, when this success, then I will be better. The next movie, I'm easy to get the chance to do it, right?
So let's see a few other screenshots. So this is the banquet with Feng Xiaogang. His only martial art film so far. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And I want everybody to take a look at the costume there, and then we're going to get into more detail in a later section. Tim actually is pretty bold in altering the costume. You thought you look at one thing, but they're actually another. Do you think people will really pay attention to that in the film?
I don't really care. Because everything is about language. Human being, the human history and the human behavior, they will need to learn how to speak. Sometimes it's not words, but sometimes it's visual. Sometimes it's different kind of editing. Every art have their language system. So for me, I always changing my channel. Sometimes I'm doing something else, because I have a desire of speaking something in my mind that I cannot say it's a normal environment. I can say, so that in art I can say anything. So that I put many commercial movie, what kind of things, and I will put it in the art from the angle from the artist seeing this. So every time I'm just enjoying the art part. Yeah.
And then we'll see the other screenshots. I think later on you'll partner back with John Woo to do Red Cliff. And that is another huge, big budget film.
Mm-hmm. This time because John Woo come back from Hollywood, come to China to make the first movie, and we have 3 years before to talk about this. So at that time I worked with Amy and John Woo is coming back and we're always talking about this together. And then I think this movie is really important for John Woo, so that I see it for him. And we're doing another small movie too before this one. And after that, I create a whole history, details of the movie, try to making something that never in movie before, I think, in 2,000 years before China, even though the lifestyle, the warship, the war camp, everything, we do a really deep details to help him to create a film.
Did you even draw for this film?
I draw many, but you don't see in here.
Oh, and who did this drawing?
A lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's almost 30 years between A Better Tomorrow and Red Cliff. Did John Woo change after going to Hollywood and then coming back to do this film with you?
More mature looking. And mature budget.
Well, A Better Tomorrow actually doesn't look like a low-budget film. It was quite powerful.
It's low, it's low.
So that's Red Cliff. Do I have any more movies? I kind of forgot. Clothing that in the film.
In this one, it's really interesting because when the Red Cliff researching, they find something in Wuhan or something like this. And they have new costume about the 2,000 years Han Dynasty armor. At that time, we tried to do many research to reproduce the way of the Han Dynasty armor, so that we make all this thing in real material, so that I keep this for exhibition all the time. Yeah.
And then I think you also did something you won the first award, which is The Temptation of a Monk, featuring Zhong Chen.
Yeah.
That's for the artistic direction, and Zhong Chen also is a very good friend of CBC. Next. This was a very early one too.
This is my first movie.
Mm-hmm. And what is it called?
Mingles.
Mm-hmm. And also, you kind of associate yourself as an art director who knows how to portray ghosts. We're going to talk about that later. Next one. And this one is Yinji Kao Rouge.
Yeah.
That one was with Leslie Chung and Anita Mui. Next one. From there, you go back to theater. You first do theater, and then Ali went to you, and then you go back to theater again. But this time with way bigger scale. Does the Oscar winning help you with getting those kind of jobs?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And just to talk about the theater production, but you also do TV.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing right now is actually the first rendition on your design for Dream of the Red Chamber for
Yes.
the TV series.
Yeah.
And then that later on evolved into the theater production, which is what we have right now. And what have changed? You mentioned that you feel that it's more mature. What do you mean by that?
I think in my ways, because I am working in Taiwan for 7 years, and when I go to Beijing, I have a lot of dreams. I want to go to Beijing and just perform myself because it's Olympics and everything is there, right? So I just ready to go for it because I have too much energy for creating. So when I go to Beijing, I will be, at the time, the 10 years, that crazy 10 years, everybody say the idea is really crazy, like really big scale, anything can happen, and everybody will invest, about all the big projects. This 10 years is really interesting. Yeah, when we're thinking about it, this is really interesting. 10 years. So I think Chinese needs to have a new language to doing from a mass media like TV or movie. Movie is based on the Western, in a Western-based technical development, right? So that in Chinese we have something, the way of speaking, the way of expressing their emotion, the way of walk, the way of talk, they are really special things. So that's why we want to try something into this level, but not just a normal genre kind of thinking. So we want to do this one. I work with Li Xiaohong, and then they have, every day they have 10 experts of Dream of Red Chamber sitting behind, in front of us. And then we talk. I talk 2 ideas that would be good in this one. One is really historical. Everything have to be real. We have to rebuild Daibunyan. We have to redo everything. We have to do everything exactly what the novel say. But I think in this 10 years, it's also in a rush, everything. We don't have a clear reference that can we do that or cannot do that. And then we try to think of something new. At this time, I think, another one is really good. If we make it half real, half surreal, how it look like. Because in Quanju they have half real and half surreal. Everything they have poetic. They are more emotional. So that everything like in this part, we want to do it in another way. We want to keep it in more arty way to do the things. And Li Xiaohong and everybody agree to do it. So that we want to make something really brilliant, really colorful, really arty, everything come together. So we try on this one. And for the new opera of this one is, I think the first thing come to my mind is the music of Bright. I listen to the music of Bright.
Bright Shang.
Yeah, Bright Shang. And I find that his music is, I can feel that the costume, the detail have to be fade out and become something unfocused. So that I try to make all these patterns of the woman to be bright, and all costumes become kites. It's like a kite, because 2 things really influence me. One thing is kites of collection of Zhao Zheqin, really strong colors, really strong connection. Another one is his background. His background is a fabric maker, like Yun Jin. So that the whole scene, I'm thinking they have like a machine, a wooden machine of the fabric maker to present the Daiguanyuan. And then all the people is in the kite form. Everybody is bigger than, and no details. And this part, I can feel that the music is come together. We don't have so much image, so much detail of Chinese, because I find that Chinese, the image and pattern is different. It's different from the Western music. When I'm doing Quanju, I'm doing Beijing opera. Beijing opera is talking about Logu Dian. Everything they have beat is really fast. So that when they are performing, they have a really low light, because at that Qing Dynasty time, so that all the costumes have to be really bright. But now we have a modern theater environment to put the lights on them, become really bright. But this bright, I think, is not the spirit of the original. So that when I do in Quanju, I start to making the music, because music is primordial, everything like melody, really slow, really floating, continuity, so that I make all the colors harmony. They have a one line can go. It's not like a Jinju jumping out. So I think the whole thing is really important about the music, how you work with the music. So the audience can see the whole thing with beauty. At the same time, they are not interrupt anything else. They come together. The poetic part is come together. So that's why I feel this time, because the volume is smaller, so that I feel we are more mature. Yeah, we can handle really well. Yeah.
Well, when the TV version first came out, it was highly controversial. I think one is because I guess it's same thing like Shakespeare. You know, it's such a classic novel, and everybody has their own interpretation of that. But at the same time, you were very bold in terms of using the pedal on the forehead. That is kind of not in that same era. But somehow with what you just said, and also that it going back to theater, it is more theatrical. And this time, we didn't really hear any kind of comments from the audience that is kind of negative. Do you think the audience also have matured over the years?
I think so, and maybe they're tired.
When I was talking about that we're gonna skip your resume, I don't mean to not mentioning about them, but we're just gonna see a few highlights, so give our audience an understanding of the spectrum of your work. So aside from Dream of Red Chimper, you are doing tons of theater. One is with the renowned Robert Wilson, and this is The Grand Voyage, right? And this going back to something really minimal. And this one is Akron Khan. Yeah. Yes, and this is one of the most innovative dance company right now. And you are working with him on the new play for the English National Ballet.
Actually, in this few time, I will work with this company for free show. Mm-hmm. The fourth show is coming, but now it's free show. The first show is this Dash. It's talk about the memory and Akron Khan, but we can talk about this later. And the second one is Mahopoloda, because Akron Khan had been acting Peter Brook's Mahopoloda before.
And he's born in Bangladesh.
Yeah, he's born in Bangladesh.
He's born in Bangladesh. Yeah. Yes.
So we're working on the Mahopoloda. We call it Until the Lion. You can Google it. It's a really, I'm really happy with the show. And we're doing another national ballet in London this year, Giselle. We have a new version of Giselle. So my experience with work for Akron is really representing what I'm feeling now. Is all the time we make the set really simple, but we have something special. But when I'm creating something special, Akron and I will find a really good moment to show these special things. It's like the first work we work with Dash. Because of this show, we go together to Bangladesh to see his home, so-called his home. Because when we first met, he asked me what I should dance the next one. I say, you dance yourself, why not? Because it was about the age of dancing. Because his dance, when you see it, is really fast, really energetic. So we talk about, you have to dance yourself. And then we start to do it. He's one performer to act seven characters on the show. He do many things, many different disciplines. He is the crazy talents. Yeah. So then what we do on this one is, because they have a line of the story, is about Akron, he's in London, he's working in London and really success in London, so that he don't have the relationship with Indian. She just have a family relationship. But suddenly his father gave a letter to him, he said, you have to come back, they have a land for you. This land is for you, you have to come back to pick up. Sometimes we're in Chinese, they have the same experience, right? And then Akron going back. So at that time, he is sitting on a boat in the river, but the river is full of glass. so that all the water is not clean. So the Akran is asking the fisherman, where is my land? Because we have the address, but we don't find the land. And the fisherman say, your land is underneath. So I'm thinking something really deep in my mind, like because I come to Akran to see the village river, and there are two little animals to catch a fish for them, and we're sitting on the ship like this big, and like this, and then the river is really small, and the glass is jumping up, so that they have no fish at all. The fish is like this big. So that is really difficult, so that I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking the reflection of your hometown. So that he is in this sea, he's upside down, to see all this fabric falling down. It's like a reflection of all the glass. That means the hometown that cannot be coming back. The memory is there but not exist anymore. This kind of thing is I always thinking about nowadays. Many of my friends in international base or in the local bay, they have the same feeling. They're feeling something loose all the time. So that everybody, when they come back home, open the TV or doing anything else, sometimes they will feel they are, they have something somewhere, have to go, have to take care of, but somewhere we don't know where now. This kind of feeling, I think, is really common. So in this one, I start to be a new era of my creation, and I have really good friends and really good collaborator.
And then these are some of the costume that you have designed. And then next.
In this case, because I'm working on many movie and theater works, and I design many different costumes, but sometimes I have chance to making exhibition now in France and in many other places. So I try to create some costume. It's only for exhibition. It's like an art piece that expands what I want to say. So this is part of and more now, more and more exhibition to talk about this.
And that's another one? Okay, we're seeing something we're very familiar here. And I have to brag about this because I did not know you were working on Yang Liping's Under the Edge. Yang Liping is probably the national dancer in China. And this is her newest creation that is going to debut in London. But what we're seeing right now is actually 2008, our Xianren artist Bailey Liu's work called the Mending Project, and it was incorporated into the theater. How many scissors were there?
20,000.
20,000, but larger size scissors.
Different size.
Yeah, okay. I'll make sure I let Bailey Liu know that you...
I think you should know. She must know.
Okay. You're very much about these handmade detail, and we're seeing there on the screen, and texture particularly. But how do you see computer graphic and technology nowadays intersect with your production?
I quite not like it. Unless survey sometimes it's like kung fu. You don't have to have weapon. You just have your fingers. You have your hands. You know space, you know speed, you know angles, and it's more interesting than making fake things, I think.
Is that why that you are also branching into making contemporary art and exhibitions so that you can have more creative control?
Yeah, I think I'm quite crazy about this because at the same time I learned everything about scientific, and I learned about how the most high end of the techniques, that everything about performance, about movie. I think I have a really good connection. I can do anything.
Oh wait, there's more.
But I just speak half of it. So that when I'm doing contemporary art, I don't want lighting. I don't want any like really avant-garde, equipment. I don't need. I just need a really stupid camera, and I take everything just really simple. And I don't have script. I just go to some place. I talk to people, and after I shoot, and afterward I make the movie. I try to learn this way because I want to escape from anything act on the art. So I just come forward, but I'm really interested in time and space with different people, different history, different condition, different habit, different attitude. I like it. So I also have some chance to I'm developing a fashion show in London. It's talk about 500 little teenagers. They facing themselves and facing future. I creating some costume with them to make a fashion show with them. So I always really concentrate on different nation, different people, different situation. I believe in time and space is different for anybody. Two people sitting in a place, there are two worlds. There's two time and space. Never the one. So that we have to understand everybody is different. And then we have to understand how other people thinking. That's the way to learn. This is really important for me. Yeah.
So
I want to make it simple.
You're not making your life simple at all. In my mind, we're talking about you're doing movies, right? 3 theater productions simultaneously. Akron and
Something in secret.
Dream of Red Chamber, Wide Open, and then also Under Siege, 3 of them together. And you wrote 2 books published on your creative vision and inspiration. You held a major exhibition earlier this February in France, In Parallel. The name of the exhibition is In Parallel. And you have 2 more exhibitions that will open in Shanghai and Beijing this year. So I'm not going to ask the cliche question, like how do you manage your time, but I do want to know why this particular work. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this work is about?
Because I'm a lonely person. So when I work, I will work with many people. When I speak, nobody understands. So I like to work. When I work, everybody listen to you. And I like to be interviewed because everybody asking something that nobody will ask you. And only you interest, but nobody interests. But when they interview, they were asking something that you like to say, So I am, from my childhood to up till now, I still have a problem of selling myself. I don't know how to make myself to be popular, to be, to talk to people so easy.
You didn't even try.
But I have a really best thing is I'm really easy to board, so that I will change, and I'm changing really fast. And so I have a situation actually. My situation is when I work many things, and I will be really calm down. I really accurate, really fast to create something really complicated. That's what I can. So that I come here, and it's like this thing can help me to even more bigger, even more chance for me to do something. But this is past. For the future, after this year, I think I will be calm down more. I will be choosing what I want to do, and will be less working, and more concentrate. That's my plan. I have some holiday.
There's a title for this art project that is ongoing for how many years now?
From 2008 is the Olympics year.
Okay, so
in Beijing, and some people want to make a contemporary art exhibition for me and ask me, "Do you interest?" But yeah, I just say at that time everybody crazy, so I say yes. And what do you want to do? And I'm not showing costume. I think I must not showing costume because everybody knows what I'm doing. So that I'm doing something else, something that I didn't did before. I tried to do sculpture. So at that time, I tried to try sculpture. Really strong desire to do that. So that the first sculpture is like 8 meter long, like half of this room big, and 3 meter high. And the whole room, we just put one sculpture, is there. So I start to be crazy about sculpture. And afterward, in the third one, I try to build some more new relationship with the audience and the sculpture. So I make a little girl with the tears in the eyes is non-stop falling down. So that one, I want to create a multi-different experience of all the audience when they come in. Everybody can expect, can to come out some their own feeling, but not just seeing what feeling that is being given. They will give the feeling because they see something familiar. That's made me change the meaning of contemporary art for myself. I want to get back the relationship of everybody. It's not just concept.
Does the sculpture have a name?
Which sculpture?
This sculpture.
This one is Lily. This one is another step. After I do that connection, I try the connection to be wide range of folding. So I create somebody is like a human form, human size. So I put it in any environment, any culture, any place, any different nation. I put in there, and in there it becomes part of the society. In other words, I collect all these pictures, and later it seems like we have the third eye to seeing our world again.
Is that important to have a third eye to look at the world?
I think they have millions of eyes looking around the world. So the first eye is just the beginning.
So with this particular artwork, I do need to ask you, as we are an organization that has taken strong position in feminism and gender equality. So to that end, we ask, is Lily an object of desire? And if not, why do you choose to make her a woman?
Looking at woman is not just desire. You are the one who presenting Feminia, Feminia is not just desire, there are many things else. In China, they have yin and yang. For myself, yin is bigger than yang. And then, our time, on this several hundred years, human being is too Apollo, too much concrete, want to prove so much things, want to create so much things, is solid. But I think at the same time, we have many problems. So I think it's the next generation. I hope the earth will come being soft. The human being become more big, embarrass everything, more sensitive, more achy. And this is what I feel. We need that. So I feel it should be a feminine. It's something that is not going to get. Because she must have no attitude. He have nothing he want to get. So that she is in there, so that he can absorb any things on her. But if he is something like a special face, and he have some attitude, he will get something, and she will be stopped there at once you see her. So it's the different things that they can, like an empty bottle. You give him wine, they will be wine cup. You give water, they become water cup. So that's why something empty can absorb anything.
So one last question before we go to the floor.
Okay.
As we're discussing about Lily in great intensity yesterday, you talked about you want to bring Lily to San Francisco. You want to work with Chinese Culture Center. And why this organization? Why San Francisco? Why now?
Because I'm thinking about this now, and because I'm facing you, And now I fell in love with San Francisco.